Now, it's no secret that I've had my share of fun over the years at the expense of Peyton Manning. And I've talked about before why that is. It's not so much the player himself, it's the media treatment of him over the past almost 2 decades now. How there's always this kind of bullshit narrative built around Peyton Manning. How there's always some type of excuse, some type of justification, some type of artificially propping up this guy instead of just letting him stand up on his own merits. He's forced down your throat. They try to pound him up our asses in terms of the way they talk about him, the way they feature him, the way he's always in all of these TV commercials and all this other crap. So you can imagine my surprise this past weekend when the story broke about Al Jazeera, of all networks, doing an expose type of documentary about athletes and human growth hormone, and that one of the names involved in this was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning and human growth hormone. Might I suggest, if Peyton Manning got him some human growth hormone a few years ago, and just looking at him, maybe, just maybe, he should ask for a refund. I'm just saying. But holy Christ, you talk about something coming out of deep, deep roving left field that really blindsided me and shocked the hell out of me. Peyton Manning being linked to getting human growth hormone, and it's involving his wife and all other types of crap. Now look, to me it's fucking funny. It's actually hilarious. But I really truly hope that it isn't true. I don't want this to be true at all. I really don't. Because I have enough reasons to make fun of Peyton Manning. I have enough reasons to knock Peyton Manning. I have enough reasons to talk about Peyton Manning and his legacy and the truth of his legacy, which is choke jobs and excuses. There are plenty of other things to talk about when it comes to Peyton Manning. I don't want this to be the way that he would ultimately be remembered. I don't want this to be that last lingering memory that we have of him and a lot of the good things that he did throughout the course of his NFL career. I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. Let it be what it is. That's what I would like the legacy to be. A guy that was statistically brilliant and in big games usually choked. And then people made excuses for him, fans and especially the media. That is the truth. That is his legacy. It's choke jobs and excuses going back to his freaking college days at Tennessee. So I really don't want this to be true. But I find it amazing that now that this has been put out there, and I know that the intern that was a part of this has since recanted his story, and I don't know why all of a sudden he's recanting it. It sounds like to me somebody got in his grill and told him, you need to cut this crap out. You can't fuck with the golden boy of the NFL. You're going to piss off Black America. They love them some Peyton. I don't fucking know. But here's what I know. Is that as soon as this came out, I knew the NFL media, ESPN, everybody was going to rush to the defense of the golden boy. And they were going to, in this particular case, presume innocence until they still presumed his innocence and only believed in his innocence and only maintained his innocence and only talked about the ways that this motherfucker is innocent. He's the guy from the Nationwide and Papa John's commercials. Chicken parm, you taste so good. Hashtag innocent. Hashtag free Peyton. Hashtag he didn't do it. Holy Christ. In like no time at all after this report's out, here's ESPN doing this whole thing with Peyton Manning and basically just allowing him the chance to vehemently deny the allegations instead of getting tough type of journalistic type of questions from ESPN. We get the fluff piece that's supposed to make Peyton Manning look good. Then the other talking heads are sitting there rushing immediately to the defense of Peyton Manning and automatically assuming no matter what, that because it's fucking Peyton Manning, because it's the golden boy of the NFL, that he has to be innocent. I can't believe that this isn't a bigger talking point than what it is. I can't believe that this isn't a bigger story than what it is. I look back at baseball about a decade ago. And at the beginning, nobody really wanted to believe that steroids were a major problem and human growth hormone were the major problem in Major League Baseball. But as we came to find out they were, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Rafael Palmeiro, Barry Bonds, guilty, and motherfucking guilty. But it was amazing to me As I used to sit there and tell some of my friends when they were talking about Bonds and his roiding up, and McGuire and Sosa and Palmeiro and some of these other guys. I would sit there and I'd say, what about Roger Clemens? I said, he's had the same type of unnatural post-35 age muscle growth that Barry Bonds did, but nobody talks about Roger Clemens. It's like as soon as you throw that up, the media instantly puts up this firewall protecting Roger Clemens. No steroids, it's not possible. Except it was. Except the guy was every bit as fucking dirty as Barry Bonds or as a Sammy Sosa or a Mark McGuire was alleged to be. It was amazing, you would see years back, how much the media tried to protect Roger Clemens. He was one of their golden children, and they couldn't allow him to be brought down until eventually the evidence was too overwhelming and the narrative had shifted and the culture had shifted and they were able to actually bring him down. But now when it comes to Peyton Manning, I see some of these same type of traits. If we heard about Cam Newton getting HGH shipped to him, they probably believe it. If we heard something about Johnny Manziel getting HGH shipped to him, they most certainly believe it, and the media would be all fucking over it, talking about how he should be banned from the game, and this knucklehead is addicted to stupid, and he just doesn't get it, and all this other crap. If Tom Brady got a shipment of HGH, everybody would be like, I told you he was a fucking cheater. I told you. Fry his ass. Ban him from the game. I'll never ever put him in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But all of a sudden it's Peyton Manning. Oh, he's too good. He's too nice. He does those commercials we like. Peyton Manning can't do it. He's good in the community. He's good with the media. He's good to the fans. He's just an all-around decent dude. He would never cheat. He would never be caught up in something like this. Remember, though, in the early stages of the story that was breaking with Tiger Woods and his wife chasing him with a 9-iron and hitting the car and everything? And then stuff started to break, and of all places, the National Enquirer, and they started talking about Tiger Woods' infidelity. And then we found out it was all fucking true. How stupid did people look when they tried to sit there and adamantly defend Tiger Woods and say none of this shit was true? And then with Lance Armstrong, for years of the doping allegations, after winning the 7 Tour de France's, you know, people would sit there and say, he meant so much good, he did so much good, he wouldn't sit there and defraud everybody, he would never do anything like that. Except he was as much of a dirty cheat as anybody else in that stupid sport of cycling could ever imagine to be. So if all the crap about Tiger Woods ultimately ended up to be true, and all the crap with Lance Armstrong ultimately ended up to be true, what the fuck makes Peyton Manning so goddamn different? It makes him so goddamn special where people automatically assume that he's fucking innocent. And it's not just a presumption of innocence until proven guilty. It's a presumption of innocence because he's Peyton Manning and he's always going to be fucking innocent. This is the shit that makes me sick. This is the shit that is absolutely revolting me. Is that no matter what, there's always some type of excuse, some type of defense mechanism built in for Peyton Manning. He should be made to answer for this. If it ends up being complete total bullshit, it ends up being complete and total bullshit. But have we not learned as a sports society in this country over the past 10 or 15 years that if there's something there when it comes to steroids, where there's some type of smoke, see Alex Rodriguez, that motherfucker's probably on fire. But instead, ESPN and the NFL media are going to largely choose to ignore the story other than initially acknowledging it in a way to make sure that they protect the brand, that they protect the Peyton Manning legacy, that they protect themselves, because that's what the NFL wants them to do. It's sickening and pathetic, and I hope people see through it. Like I said, ultimately, I wouldn't want these allegations to be true. There's enough other shit for me to rag on Peyton Manning on all freaking day, and I'm right on every fucking one of them. And you don't like it, you can eat shit. Ding dong, dumb dicks. His legacy is and excuses. His brother Eli has to come give him the Heimlich. Like, even now, you've still got people in the media, for Christ's sakes, with this asshole. There's always something. They still want to say that he should be starting over Brock Osweiler for the Denver Broncos for the rest of the 2015 season and into the playoffs. And what fucking universe are you living in that makes you think that based on what you saw out of Peyton Manning all year, before we artificially created these multiple injuries trying to make him out to be some broken down version of the $6 million man, that he's better suited for this team and what they need to do and where they want to go than Brock Osweiler is? Are you fucking nuts? Are you goddamn insane? Ding dong, dumb dicks. Peyton Manning is washed up and Peyton Manning is done. Accept it. But instead, as is always the case, it's always some type of rationale. It's always some type of spin. It's always some type of excuse when it comes to the freaking sports media and their treatment of Peyton Manning. It's on a level that I haven't seen since Michael Jeffrey Jordan. The difference was Michael Jeffrey Jordan was clearly the best player of his generation. Most certainly, probably, in my opinion, the best player of all time. And he won 6 championships. Peyton Manning's won 1. What has Peyton Manning done to deserve the fucking Michael Jordan treatment? Nothing! And Michael Jordan wasn't perfect. And he made his mistakes. That's for damn sure. The media back in the 90s, without social media, with all this other crap, did a better job of trying to hold Michael Jordan to task, at least occasionally, for something, than the media does now for Peyton Manning. And it's ludicrous. The biggest reason I can't wait for Peyton Manning to retire is because I can't wait for the media to stop fucking defending this guy. Talk about other things, talk about other people. Because every time it comes to Peyton Manning, it's always some type of bullshit. It's always some type of excuse. It's always something. And after 2 decades of dealing with this crap, I've fucking had it. I can't wait for when Peyton announces his retirement to say, nah, hey, goodbye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. Get the fuck out. And it's sad because I shouldn't feel that way towards a guy. I really shouldn't. But the media and certain segments of the NFL fan base that get too caught up in the propaganda and get too caught up in the stupidity and the excuses make him one of my least favorite athletes of all time. And again, something else that I brought up examples of different types of guys like Cam Newton and Johnny Manziel and Tom Brady. And I even think Aaron Rodgers to a degree. If we were talking about them receiving human growth hormone, the media would be much harder on them, much less inclined to believe them, much less inclined to approach it by a presumed innocent until proven innocent because the media is not going to allow anything else other than innocence to be proven. But when it's Peyton Manning, you notice it was broached briefly. They let Peyton Manning say his piece, not even question it, try to defend it, and then they've moved the fuck on from it. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening.